Have you ever noticed how difficult it is to say I was wrong? And this is with other people and for ourselves as well. There are situations where we're worried about getting in trouble or we may truly be right. But there are also situations where we know that we did something wrong, but it's so hard to admit it. And that is because instead of looking at it as we did a bad behavior, we look at it as our identity. I am bad. There's a difference between saying I behave selfishly versus I am selfish. One is behavior, the other is identity, and we often blur the two together. It's understandable because even from childhood, we're often told you're lazy, you're selfish, you're smart, you're difficult. And these are labels that are put upon us as opposed to just behaviors that may occur here and there. I even catch myself saying it. I'll say, you're this or you're that, when no one is 100% a certain behavior. Perhaps we carry out these behaviors often, but we are not that behavior. Good and bad is in every single person. And the goal is to try to work towards being more of the good than the bad. At least behavior-wise, not relating it to identity. We all contain contradictions. There was the Good Samaritan experiment, where students had to go do a test. Some were told that they had a time constraint. Some were told that they had plenty of time. The ones that were told they had plenty of time were much more likely to stop to help someone in need than the ones who had a time constraint. This was a single event in a person's life, and I know I'm guilty of it, but if I saw those people, I would judge them differently on that single event. In fact, I often will ask people around me how they see me objectively, or at least their version of me, because I know that I am unable to see myself objectively. It's not because I'm insecure, but I want the view of someone else outside me. If I could, I would have a camera follow me around, not to post online or anything like that, just to be able to see myself objectively, because from the inside, I have no idea. If criticism bothers me, why? Maybe there's some truth in it. Maybe it touches an old story. Maybe it threatens something I value. Curiosity is usually much more useful than defensiveness. Honesty is not just a virtue, it's a skill. Every time I notice myself defending my identity instead of examining my behavior, that is another situation to practice the skill. That doesn't mean that I do it all the time right away. But I do eventually do this. I do often think, how do I prove them wrong? And that's not necessarily wrong, but after I've had time to simmer and think about it, I do think, how am I protecting myself? I know it's impossible to stop making mistakes, but maybe the idea is to stop identifying with those mistakes, and then it's easier to recognize that you've made a mistake. When behavior and identity aren't the same thing, it makes honesty less frightening and growth more possible.